Hey everybody, Travis Pfeiffer here, bringing you another Deck Tech Talk with a idea that when I saw these cards, I really just wanted to build a deck around. So I went ahead and did it, and it's been really fun. And that is this, the new Dancer from Opus 12. So Dancer's a 3-cost standard unit that you can tap her, and you deal 1,000 damage to all the forwards opponent controls. However, if you control 7 or more win characters, you'll deal 4,000 instead. So I was thinking, wow, there's got to be some kind of good potential for board wipes there. You just tap her, deal it 4K if you have enough, find a way to do it again. So I kind of designed the deck around that. It's really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It's pretty cheap too, so it'd probably be a good budget deck. So it's very enjoyable. So to back her up is 2 copies of Rem. So the idea is you want to be able to dance her, multiple times in a turn, because ideally you want to be able to hit about 9K, I'd say, is probably your target amount, which means you'll need to tap her twice and get a little help from our backup line, which you'll see. Rem is great. Rem is just a great forward that I've loved since she came out in Opus 9. So Rem, anytime she takes damage, it'll be reduced by 3,000. That's from any source. So that's fantastic. And then at the end of every one of your turns, Rem will always reactivate. So she'll always end your turn active. So you can swing in with her, no problem. And then what's also cool, Rem can tap herself to activate another forward. So the combo is, if you've got enough people for the wipe, you Dancer once, deal 4K, Rem can reactivate Dancer, do her again, there you go, you got 8K. And then what's nice is then at the end of that turn, Rem's going to reactivate. And then so a Rem, even on your opponent's turn, let's say your Dancer is still up, you could Dancer on their turn, 4K, Rem reactivates her, Dancer again, so you can do all that even on your opponent's turn. So Rem's freaking fantastic. To kind of help go into this activation theme, we have 3 copies of Bartz. Shout out to Alex Hancock, that's his 2018 World Championship Bartz. And 2 copies of Yasmat. Those both basically serve the same function. They're EX bursts, so on a burst you can reactivate all your characters. Again, Bartz, you can tap the Dancer, 4K to the board. If you've got 5 backups, you can play Bartz for free because he's going to reactivate everything. Hit the Dancer again. Yasmat's the same way. If you can keep him down, you're going to be reactivating. And what's great about Yasmat is you can do it on the stack. So, let's say you had Rem and Dancer out. You could, at the, main phase 1 hits, Yasmat effect goes on the stack. You say reactivate all the characters. And then on top of that, you Dancer, then you Rem to bring Dancer up. You Dancer again. Yasmat brings them both up, so then if you've cleared the board, now you can just go in and attack. Fantastic. And they're both bursts, so again, if they hit in a burst, boom, that's just another way you can do kind of some of these surprise activation shenanigans. Vada basically covers the same thing. He doesn't have a burst, but if he's paid with only win CP, which this is mono win, so he will be, same thing, he's going to reactivate all the characters, so very same thing, you can Dancer, Vada, yada yada yada. To go with that, 1 copy of Yuri. Yuri is just a great light forward, and he especially benefits off of things in Win, anything that can reactivate multiple times. So Yuri, to do his trigger, you gotta tap either 3 backups of the same color or 2 backups in Yuri, and he can do that immediately, which is great. So again, same thing with Yasmat. If you've got Yasmat down, if anyone's played with that combo, they know how great it is. You can do 2 Yuri triggers, reactivate everything, 2 more Yuri triggers. Just fantastic. 2 copies of Y'shtola. Y'shtola is just great protection. She's not going to die to any ping they might have, which is nice. And then again, if they have some kind of big summon that's going to take out any one of your prominent forwards or an auto ability, they try to Shantoto the board or whatever, Y'shtola can just help protect against that. That's fantastic. Help her out. 1 copy of Zidane. Zidane's just always a great card. Being able to... what's better than canceling Shantoto with Y'shtola? And that's using Zidane to just rip it out of their hand, and then, hey, they can never use it in the first place. So he's just a staple win card. And then to fill it out is 3 copies of each of the Shikaris. So you got Shikari X, Y, and Z. These are brand new Sin Hunters that were released in Opus 12. And there's nothing in here that, fetches them out. This isn't like the Earth Wind where you've got Star Sybil to fetch out 11 characters, but still, they're just great cards. They just have such good value. They'll get really big on your own, and it's just one more threat for your opponent to worry about. You love dropping these things early, and then you're drawing more cards, reactivating backups. They're just so damn solid on their own that, it doesn't even matter if they have anything to, fish them out. If you wanted something a little more synergistic with it, I guess you could put in some more activation-based forwards, but it already runs itself so well. I find the Shikaris to just be a nice alternative threat. For our summons, 3 copies of Pandemonium. It's just more board damage. You know, you pay a CP, reactivate a backup, boom, 2k to the board, or if they're on 5 damage or above, 4k to the board. It's just another way to get your Dancer to just ping, 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 ping all the more. 1 copy of New Diabolos, and 3 copies of 4-cost Garuda. Diabolos is just there. Some people are kind of hit and miss on this card just because if they have no anthems or they have no way to buff their characters, you know, he's not going to do anything because he technically won't have a target. But I just find him really good, cheap removal, and at least in most of the decks I've seen, one forward or another is going to have some kind of buffer on it. So chances are he's not going to be a dead card. He'll give you something. And Garuda is just great because Garuda is a great burst. I legit had a match the other night that it was my 6 point of damage, and it hit for 11k. So Garuda does 2,000 damage automatically, and then she'll do an additional 1,000 for every win character you control. Well, again, in this deck, if you got a big, I mean, off of just 5 backups, that's 7k, and then the more forwards you get in characters, it counts for all characters, then you're just getting this big old ping. And again, it's really nice to have burst. It gives you kind of some more removal. We've got a couple monsters in here. 2 copies of Unsaganashi. Again, he's just more protection for the board. If they try to go, you know, wipe your Dancer out with something, ping it, you can use Unsaganashi, make sure they can't be hit. And then at damage 5, this guy just gets ridiculous because not only does he make it so your entire line of forwards can't be chosen by summons or abilities, they all activate. So again, it's just one more way to tap the Dancer, you know, do a Yuri trigger, Unsaganashi, bring them all up, or you can completely swing out and then they'll all come back up anyway. He's just a fantastic monster. And then to help him out is 1 copy of Death Gaze. I've loved this monster ever since I saw it in Opus 8. He just removes a forward. Technically, he removes it for as long as he's on the field. He'll remove it from the game. So you have to be a little careful because if they do have any kind of like monster hate, they can break him to get that forward back. But for the most part, that's not super relevant. So just 3 CP, get a forward out of the game is great. Plus, you know, you think, okay, well then he just sits there, but that's a good thing. He is a win character, so he actually counts towards Garuda's total as well as the Dancer's total. So once he's on the board, boom, that's just one more person. Because sometimes with the Dancer, like, if you have 5 backups, you know, and she's your only forward, you've only got 6 characters. But if you've got that Death Gaze there, Dancer can be the lone forward, and you still have enough to make her super trigger go off, which is great. But hey, you know, why not put a little more board wipe in there, right? So we've got 2 copies of Backup Penelo. Again, it's just one more way to hit boards. You can tap her. Her effect only goes online at damage 3, but she's still worth it because she only costs 2 CP. You tap her, boom, hit the board. I often use her in combination with the Dancer to hit that 9k. I'll Penelo, Dancer, you know, do a way to reactivate her, Penelo again, which is great. And then to also help out Penelo is 3 copies of that Dancer. There's also another version of that Dancer from Opus 1. I think it has a Tactics character on it. It's the exact same card. It's just different art. But I just prefer this art. And then, same thing. Now, what's nice about her versus Penelo is that she can tap immediately. Once she's on the field, she can tap to do 1,000 to the whole board. She's 1 CP more, but, you know, I just kind of find it's nice to have both of them. And then, a new card, and this kind of inspired it too in Opus 12, was 3 copies of this Ninja. What I like about this Ninja, it's a standard unit, so like the Dancer, you can have multiple on the field. You know, you don't get just locked into like a single Ninja. And then the Ninja, what you can do is you can tap the Ninja and pay 1 wind, and you choose a wind forward and activate it. And so again, that's just one more way to reactivate Dancer. I've had plenty of turns where okay, Dancer for 4, Penelo for 1, tap the Ninja and 1 more backup. Boom, that's another 4. That's 9k to the board. It's great. It's been really fun. And then her second effect, too, you can pay 2 wind, tap her, put her in the break zone, and you'll activate every wind character you control. Just more ways to activate. That's great, you know, if you need a final defense against people pushing India, etc. Then we have 3 copies of Echo. Echo's just a great burst. That's mainly what she's here for. She's not a bad card to see turn 1 either, because she'll let you scry, draw a card, which is what most people, but also late in the game, she can be nice too because she has the ability, she can activate another backup or a forward. So again, it's just another way to tap the Dancer, tap the Rem, the Yuri, pull back up Penelo to get your last ping off, like whatever you want. It's fantastic. Even more protection we have in Backup Aerith, 3 copies of it. You could run forward Aerith as well. They kind of serve a similar function. I like this one just because, again, it feels so good when you've got 3 backups. You plant Aerith as your 4th, it reactivates the other 3. And then Planet Protector is just so good. You tap it, activate all the forwards. Are you sensing a theme here? I think I am. And then it's Unsaganashi again. They can't be chosen. So between Unsaganashi and Planet Protectors, you just have so many ways to protect your board and to just keep that alive. And that's really kind of what I like about the deck, and like really what makes it work better than I thought. Because at first I thought, I was like, this will be kind of like fun meme-y, but it really won't actually be very good. No, it's pretty nice because the Dancer, once you've got a field out, the Dancer's really all you need, because your opponent, they're just going to die to your basic almost infinite board wipe every turn. You just board wipe them to your heart's content. And so just ways to protect that, it just makes it work so well. 1 copy of Sid Hayes. Again, I love my EX Burst, and he can search a standard unit that's a forward. Now, to be fair, the only thing in this deck is the forward Dancer. It's the only thing he's going to search out, but that's why I only run 1. In theory, again, you could maybe switch out some of the Shikaris, put some more forwards if you really wanted to like buff that up. But I find just a 1 of, just to guarantee grab a Dancer, especially if I see Sid early, is fine. And then 1 of an Archer. He's just there because, 1, he's a cheap 2 CP win backup, plus he can break a backup of cost 3 or less, and this deck's biggest enemy is going to be Minwu. If they have Minwu, this deck isn't going to work very well, so having just some way to deal with that if they get it out is always great. And finally, 1 copy of Fiona. I don't really use the search on there. She's mainly for, again, if you were lucky enough to have nothing else to do with the CP, you can go grab your Dancer, your Death Gaze, whatever piece you need to make your combo work. But then also she's great because, like, if she's down, let's say all your backups are tapped out, and then Bartz or Yasmat hit off a burst, they reactivate everything. Even if you can't, board wipe them with the Dancer, you just tap Fiona, tap out all your backups, go get whatever character you want. So it's just a nice little synergy. So yeah, that's the deck. I'll link a description to it in the description below the video. And it's just, it's really fun. It's cheap. For those of you out there wanting to make it even more budget, you can take out the Zidane or the Ishtola or the Yasmat, whichever one is kind of jacking the price up. But it's really fun. It's simple. And again, because it's mono wind, you don't ever have, when you have concepts like the Dancer, I like it when you can just, do I got it? Okay, it goes off. Not like, well, hold on, let me make sure I have enough wind characters, yada, yada, yada. So it's really fun. It's quite enjoyable. It has a very straightforward theme. It's felt really fun to play. Like I said, when I first made it, I thought kind of, it's cute, but it's not. But no, it has come back from the brink. Like I said, I've come back from the brink of destruction just because you've got this big board wipe. It's taken down some pretty competitive decks. It's fun. It feels really good. And again, it's kind of funny watching people sync CP trying to get rid of a Dancer of all things, this 3 CP 7k standard unit, and but that's what they're afraid of. They're like, well, I gotta kill that thing because otherwise I'm just gonna lose. So let me know what you think. Try it out. It's a lot of fun. Deck's called Dance the Night Away. And yeah, thanks for listening and have a good one. Bye.